guess what? It's me, coming at you with our second mini-sode, and this time on Scoring Magic, we're going to be talking about take selection. Now, don't think this is gonna be all fun and games, because actually, this is a sad tale. A tale about how I am a big procrastinator, and we are behind schedule. Alright, before I reveal just how far behind our original schedule we are, let's do some housekeeping. First, episode 1 of Valence hit 1,000 listens in only 24 days. I am recording this a few days after episode 3 came out, and episode 1 is now over 1,100, almost at 1,200. And, how are y'all enjoying Nico, by the way? God, I love that gremlin. We revamped our Patreon to be monthly instead of per creation because now we have several creation and per creation just won't work for us anymore. So if you support us on Patreon and haven't already done so, make sure you go check out the tiers and change yours if you needed so that you're getting the rewards you want. Oh, also, I am in Los Angeles right now. As of this episode being released, not while I'm recording, for Podcast Movement Evolutions, representing our good old House of Hugs. I hope I got to see some of you, or will get to see some of you. You know what? It doesn't matter. I don't have time for this because I'm about to leave for the airport. So let's talk about this episode's content. Picking takes. For those of you not familiar to this concept, what happens in the recording process is that we get a few takes of each scene from every actor, and before sending the audio to our sound designer, we have to listen through and pick our favorite takes that fit together and don't have any mistakes. Sometimes the actors do fun things like improv lines that you can't actually use.
How have you never noticed how heavily you walk? Are you trying to get yourself caught? Hey, Frankenstein, for fuck's sake, walk less like a badly trained circus bear. Frankenstein was the name of the monster, actually. Now is not the time for that.
And sometimes they stumble over words.
No problem. Nope, that's not it.
When we're recording live recording sessions, our typical style is to have the actors go through the scene once, however feels right to them, followed by some feedback and a bit more direction. We include stage directions in our scripts, which you'll likely have seen in the transcripts. So on subsequent runs of the script, I tend not to read those in the interest of letting things flow more naturally. And sometimes we do a take where we just let the actors go wild and do extra improv. And what you end up with is that perfect sweet spot that makes the story come to life. But first, what you have to do is listen to several hours of audio and actually decide what sounds best together. As someone who works a full-time job managing operations for a real estate investment company, manages the finances for a podcast production company, that's this one, has been in the process of moving and also has to cope with extreme executive dysfunction, you can probably see where this is going. I procrastinated. According to our schedule, I should have had the takes selected for Julia for episode 4 by January 1st. But, guess when I actually got them to her? January 27th. And in that same vein, episode 5 should have been to Julia by January 8th. And that one was just finished the first week of February. Now, this wasn't entirely my fault. We didn't have the audio organized in a way that we could find it, and now we do. It also turns out that we were missing audio for like half the show. There was definitely some panic happening, but we got it sorted out. It's all fine now. But had I started working on gathering the audio earlier, we would have discovered these issues earlier, and thus would have been able to actually keep ourselves marginally on track. As of this episode's release, we have pretty much all the takes up through episode 10 done. which means we are officially just about ahead of schedule on take selection. But that delay did put us behind for episode drafts. Womp womp. Luckily, Julia is a goddamn hero and is getting episodes done so fast. So we'll probably be ahead of schedule on those soon too. The one takeaway from this is don't let me procrastinate, because I will do it if given the chance. Sorry, it's just how I am. And most importantly, don't panic. That's what your team is for. And even if you don't have a team, you can figure it out, I promise. Delays are bound to happen, so the best thing you can do is work to do your best going forward. There's no use stressing over something you can't change, right? Now, go create something wonderful. Do some goofy and interesting takes of audio, and send them to your producers, because sometimes they end up in the final cut. And sometimes they end up in blooper cuts. But they are always, always appreciated. Scoring Magic is a Hug House production. You can find out more about our other projects and information on podcast consultations at hughouse.productions. You can find out how to support us with money on our website, or just go to patreon.com/hughousepodz for monthly support. Our music this week is Fluffing a Duck by Kevin MacLeod, which actually isn't as funny as Katie made it seem in the last episode. Honestly, who wouldn't want to just fluff up the feathers on a cute little duck? Will, can the audience have some duck noises, please? It would just be amazing if you could just, throw some in here right now. Just a little parting gift. Okay, bye!